through. Picks and bans coming down. We'll see what adaptations we have, keeping in mind that last time, little AD focused in the bans. Twitch was taken out and away by the side of Waterloo. They do this again. Twitch first ban, Zaya first ban, so nothing too different yet, as these teams are really sticking to something similar. Vayne taken off the table as well, so they don't want Dead on Twitch or Vayne. They're going to take Sion now away. Ryerson will take Sion away from Shauner. They'll respond by banning Skarner out. And if we see a Zac ban here, this is the exact same set of bans. Yep, taken out and through. Carbon copy of what happened in the last game.
Pretty rapid back and forth going on through it. I want to see what happens now with the mid lane for Waterloo. That's something we really hit on last time. That was kind of a show that maybe they didn't have the most confident Sherb in the world. But now they're not even going to ban it away. So I want to see how that's able to come on through. But that is a big adaptation. Tristana over the Caitlyn. Because Caitlyn, you're still stuck with a very sizable trough in power between that first item and third item. That's incredibly hard to pick back up, especially against a scaling champion like Tristana. So getting Eno onto this is a much more carry-focused pick. So
we'll see how Ryerson adapts then. They do immediately take away the Lulu. They banned it last game around, or rather it was banned against them, by the side of Waterloo. This time they prioritize it in their first round of the draft and will take away the Kog'Maw as their response. So Lulu Cog, first round of the draft, tells us a little bit about where we may be expecting this composition to go for the Ryerson Rams.
Yeah, and that's kind of just taking a play out of the Waterloo book. And I want to see if Ryerson actually going to make the callback to the Azir, Nunu, Kog'Maw kind of Exodia composition here. Ooh. So, I mean, Nunu is still on the table. Azir is still on the table, even though he did receive some sizable early game nerfs. But, I mean, if you're not worried about the enemy mid laner, there's no reason not to go for it.
Well, BTM is going to run that Sejuani again, so we're going to see, how he plays that one out and away. Thought that maybe wasn't the problem in their composition last time. They will take the Janna again. So far, the only adaptation to their composition is swapping out the Caitlyn for the Tristana. I like it so far. So they've not given too much of their composition away. They still have the solo laners to pick up on the other side of picks and bans. Now, just for safety's sake, Wazir is going to take away Ryze on Ryerson's side. So they're not going to let that one get banned. Possibly a big instrumental part of their win. We'll see. Karma off the table, though, will not have that safe mid laner to default to. And with that, I would not be surprised to see an Orianna ban as well, just to levy some pressure onto the mid lane of Ryerson.
They're almost trying to bait in a Cassiopeia pick here. They want Sherb to try to step up, try and fight them, and then put him in the ground, but it should be the Orianna ban as well. So yeah, they're just banning out any safe mid laner he could be playing. The question though has to be, does Ryerson realistically have enough to carry this game out to that late game point? Because Tristana can get rolling early. She has an incredible levels 2 through 5 that can just completely dominate the Kog'Maw Lulu. Okay, I saw the Mumu there for a second and got really excited.
Alistair, Amumu, Jax, we're just rolling through some early season 1 stuff. Just, getting a little nostalgic, showing the legacies there. But Jax coming out for away today. Not going to be too surprising there. He did play it last game. So it's mostly similar compositions coming through. But there is the Azir Gangplank locked in without hesitation coming out of the side of University of Waterloo. Gangplank was banned against them last game. They did not get to pick that one up and away. So they swapped that ban for Karma this time. It's the only ban they've changed. And so Gangplank comes through. So we're going to see how Shauner picks that one up to take it now against the side of Ryerson, who are going to be last picking their top laner into the Gangplank. And it is a Fiora coming out on the lock-in.
Okay, big thing to note here is that on the current patch 8.5, there's also a mid-patch update where they changed around the support item. So it no longer has Bandit, especially on the coin, which Fiora and Gangplank used to take. They like that extra golding in the lane just from trading. But Gangplank, even with some early game nerfs to his Q mana poke, is still going to put him in a very awkward spot. And this is a completely opposite team composition we see coming out of the side from Waterloo. Because before, they had the pressure in the top lane. They had the pressure in the mid lane with picks like the Ornn and the Karma. But now it's all on the back of Eno in this laning phase.
Yeah, I'm very, very curious to see how they're going to play this one out and through because, the Caitlyn pressure was on But with this Tristana, the pressure is just doubly so there. So I think they're going to be relying on Sherb with the Azir in the early game, hopefully to find some roams to pick up. Azir needs a couple items to feel incredibly relevant. But I like the fact that they have him for backlining onto the Kog'Maw. They have the Gangplank as well with that global ultimate just to cause some chaos. It's a better adaptation coming out for the side of Waterloo. I like it a lot more than I liked their composition last time around, getting the Ornn out of there this time. Gangplank, a little bit more potent. The Azir in the mid lane as well as the Karma, but it's not as safe either. It is riskier. So we'll see if the side of Ryerson can really tighten down the screws to make that an issue. That said, last game goes to 48 minutes or so.
It was like 47 and 60 seconds, I think, flat. So
48 minutes on the dot. This composition, if it goes to 48 minutes, I really like it out of Waterloo.
I mean, honestly, both comps have a lot of potential for the late game scaling. You get the Fiora, who just has the split push pressure in the late game. Kog'Maw is still a Kog'Maw, and Ryze doesn't do too horrible as well. But now this definitely looks a lot more towards that mid game for Ryerson. They want to start emphasizing on such weak lanes right now, because Azir fairly significantly nerfed in that early game, not able to put out the same amount of Q damage. Top lane Gangplank up against something like a Jax Fiora is going to be in a lot of trouble up here if he's not playing this correctly. So this game also now boils down to, can Waterloo protect those two sides of the map while still getting Eno rolling? Because once again, there has not been a single Waterloo victory without this guy getting 8 kills on ADC.
Absolutely, and we've already established that that's not a binary if 8 then win, because you had 13 last game and still did lose. So all in all, they live by him, they die by him, and it is an important position for them with that AD carry. They have a little bit more now on the shoulders of the remaining members, although I still just have to look at how uphill this is going to be for BTM, because he's got to keep his Gangplank safe. He's got to help get the Azir snowballing, and all in all, he's got to make sure that Eno is in the best of positions. So as a jungler for this University of Waterloo roster, BTM, I'm looking at you to make a lot of the moves that are going to keep your team in this game.
And even across the map, it really does turn into the Wazir show plus a way to make these sorts of early game plays, because whenever Ryerson find that early lead, it's always through this combination of these combinations of players. Top lane Fiora is not really realistically going to get much done in the early game. Bot lane Kog'Maw plus Lulu isn't realistically going to be able to get much done in the early game, but it's getting that bridge over. And Ryerson is a team that is just so much more comfortable playing through these mid-game team fights, where I think if they get this match evenly ahead, maybe like 1k gold lead, 2k gold lead, they're going to be able to take this thing over from the 25-minute mark.
Yeah, I think that's very much a likely outcome. Certainly a distinct possibility, but more so than that, it just seems like something we might be expecting to watch happen here. But all in all, it's just going to come down to execution out of these two compositions, and we're going to be able to see that one happen live here in this second game. So it took a little while, but the countdown is done. We're moving on in. We will be loading up, and that means I got to hit a small couple bits of information, ladies and gentlemen, about the CSL. I'll carry it through quickly. Want to give a huge shout out to Twitch TV for being one of our gracious sponsors. They do so much for us. They help us so much with some of the events that we're involved in, things that we couldn't be able to pull off the same way without them. Our involvement in PAX East and West, many more events. Want to give them a shout out. We got to pause, so I might have a little bit more time than I think, because they are pausing right before the game starts. We'll see what that comes through. Follow Twitch on social media, twitter.com/Twitch, facebook.com/Twitch. Keep up with all the cool things that they are doing as their platform is ever evolving. If you can't watch us live, you can find all of our VODs on YouTube. That is youtube.com/user/CStarLeague. So do need to hit that. If you are curious about the brackets, we've added some new commands in chat, and I'll pull those up to make sure I got it right here, because I don't want to tell you wrong. But that's going to be, I believe, North bracket, East bracket, South bracket, and West bracket, I want to say. And then you can do it for the Peach Belt as well by PBC bracket, Peach Belt Conference bracket, and then we should have the Big Ten in there somewhere as well, but I'm not seeing it here. So either way, that is all there for you to peruse at your leisure. Now, this is Ryerson versus Waterloo. Ryerson winning game number 1. Game number 2 now stakes are on. Just waiting for this pause to come on through as we're going to try to figure out what's happening. It looks like the AD for the side of Waterloo there. I'm sorry, no, for the side of Ryerson is lagging a little bit, and so they're just going to try to fix that. The R's are coming down, so we should be in good shape.
Keep your eyes on this early game jungle pathing, because away today on the Jax, it's something like the effect of a J4 where you can pull off some fairly strong level 2 ganks, get the leap, get the counter strike, and you're able to lock someone down for a considerable amount of time. And sure, but before the level 2 mark, has absolutely zero escapes that aren't named Flash or heal, so look for some pretty quick plays over on that portion of the map, because if that's an advantage that starts right at the 2-minute mark, that's one that can keep going the duration of this game. It's so scary to play any immobile champion against the Ryze because he's just able to lock you down immediately, set up for such quick ganks, and Sherb has not taken cleanse. He's not taking anything really defensively to that end.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, too, that the one saving grace for that is that the entire bot lane across the board is very immobile, so that at least is going to give them a little bit more of a sense of security when trading. Obviously, that's very easily exploitable by the Ryze, especially in a post-level 6 game, but all things considered there, I think it'll at least help facilitate trades early on into the bot lane and give us, the action that we need to see these players start to pull out those advantages in the CS, in the trading. It is the Doran's Blade start coming out for Eno, and the Doran's Shield coming out for Dead. So, going to be two different ways to play the lane out there.
Mm-hmm. And that's just indicative of the power in the laning phase. Well, like we said before, Tristana has such a strong level 2 through 5 because of the engage potential she gets with her rocket jump in, with the taking bomb she gets on top of the head, especially with in the recent patches, she gets even more damage on the W and a little bit taken off the range to compensate, but that just means more deadly engages if she actually wants to go for that. And Dead and Ninja need to respect that one going forward, because Eno is on a champion now on Tristana, where if he gets this first blood, he can realistically just turn that into a 10-kill lead.
Well, the late roam down into lane from the side of Ryerson does give away that away today probably started on that blue buff. They should know that one. No surprises there. It's BTM with a similar start. We'll see if they do any counter jungling or if it's just going to go right back now to the standard jungle paths, not wanting to try anything too heavy too early and more just rely on the lanes, because we have some fun trades just happening already with Pax and Shauner in the top lane. That Fiora and Gangplank, we thought, it might be a little bit of a game of bloody knuckles. And so we're going to see how aggressive Pax wants to be on this Fiora, already pushing the lane out. Yeah, no, wants to come in. The exhausts are burned from both sides, but this is a flash out from Eno. So Tristana burning that one very early. Only the exhaust from Ninja out on the other side for Ryerson, so they're going to feel pretty good about that one, as Platoon burned his exhaust as well. So it is just a free flash burn, all things considered. We're going to get back into, I'm sure, just some more even trades, and it looks like the aggression still very pertinent from the side of Waterloo here. On the top lane, though, different story. Pax really just shoving this lane in.
This aggressive play on the bottom side, isn't able to create any sort of advantage off that jump. Sure, he's still trying to turn our champion on those early levels, but it really does start to taper out when you do lose that flash. Just having to play defensively against the Ryze, against the Jax, hurts your lane pressure a lot, and now I want to see him really focus on building that CS lead. If he's not going to be able to kill Dead 420 multiple times in the lane, at least make sure you're farming better than him. When you hit that 3-item spike, you are definitively in the lead.
Yeah, very, very much the case. And so I like that actually after the flash is burned, he's not so neutered to just want to keep pushing this one out and away. I do like that we see a little counter jungling coming on away today. Made a small pit stop in the side of Waterloo's jungle and leaves behind some souvenir wards. Now will be immediately countered by BTM as he comes in to drop a ward of his own on the blue. So both junglers, very much thinking on the same wavelength here. We'll see, though, if this is an overstay, because if Away Today comes down and catches BTM, sure, he's a level down, but look at the health difference here. Meanwhile, we do have some going on in the bot lane. Yeah, it looks like we might see this one happen in the jungle here. We'll see if we can get over the wall with a blast cone. Is A-okay. Doesn't worry about it. So BTM's out scot-free. The trades are still happening all around. I like that we don't see too many health bars just sitting at very full right now. So these players are definitely trying to make their advantages. But bot side seems to be one to want to focus around, as it's a steady shove coming out from the side of Waterloo, and it may be punished with a gank here. We'll see if he can get in. And he's going to get warded out, but look, there's the stun. Platoon going to get a nice tornado down there, and actually, just with the hop back over from Eno away today, should be out of this one. Not going to worry too much about it. Did get a nice little ward down. No, didn't get the ward down. Sorry, got warded up. Did a little bit of damage, but all in all, pretty negligible, and that's going to feel good for the side of Waterloo.
Yeah, nothing really impactful there, but saving grace for sure coming out of BTM was the shoving bottom lane. If they're not going to get an advantage any other way, at least if Eno and Platoon are able to keep the slave shoved out, it allows BTM to make those aggressive moves without really having to fear for retribution. And keep your eyes on that dragon, because that is an Infernal Drake in the game that basically both teams want to hit the 35-40 minute mark on. So that could definitely be turning some team fights in these later stages of the game. So without a doubt, has to be on both these teams' minds. Also could mean that Pax and Shaner really aren't going to see much jungle pressure this entire game.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, so that's kind of the ideal situation for a lot of top laners. Now, both of these champions very gankable. We'll see. You know, we may just be eating our words here, as we do have Away Today lurking off in the wings here, just trying to maybe find something happen. And BTM just a couple short steps behind him, all spotted out. So everything is noted, written down. Wazir potentially on the roam up. That is Wazir the Rise, not Azir. A little bit confusing if they are pitted on other sides of the map yet. Didn't talk about that one in Champion Select, but it is Wazir versus Azir. So sure, not going to be following him up there just yet, but all things considered. Going back to the quiet game, and you know, nowadays, just seeing the way this early game has panned out, it's not too surprising to know how late the last game ran, just because neither of these teams are actualizing too heavily in the early game.
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed from Away Today, because he's not made any plays just yet. I wanted to see him pressure out this mid lane, at least give your mid laner some sort of advantage to run with, but he's gonna go quite aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, so the good news is he doesn't need that, we'll talk about this in a second, after he gets us onto Shaner. That's actually not the best. He has to flash out. He's gonna be first blood on his own gank. And Pax is likely gonna die here as well. Doesn't have an out, so he's just gonna try to get the kill first. No flashes anyway. And maybe getting an idea of why they banned the gangplank against Shaner, because a double kill first blood included in the top lane is just great for that guy. Sherb now with the Shurima Shuffle. Wazir flashes on out of that one, so not caught up by the Glacial Prison. But all things considered, it is Waterloo making the early moves, or rather adapting well to the early moves against them, and then trying something of their own in the mid lane.
That was so incredibly greedy on the top side of the map. I mean, dying to Gangplank that early on in the game, giving him 2 kills right on over.
Yeah, look at that. They want it. It is the jump in. The heals come down, but look at that. It seems to be whoever starts the engage can't finish it as well. BTN had to come in for that one, and now Away Today has a very easy target in Platoon. No flash, but doesn't matter because the smite will see things through to the end anyway. And BTN potentially in some trouble here as the polymorph comes down. No mana. The stun is there, and they bring this one back 3-3. Only 200 gold between these teams.
I mean, just like that, good plays on the bottom side does shut out the Eno from really taking a good advantage on the early game. Still Wazir still doing a pretty good job. I mean, there's not much you can really hit on the man when he's 20 CS up basically in the laning phase on the Rise pick itself. It certainly helps that Shlurb is playing a bit of a nerf champion on the year, but still, it's what we'd expect from this matchup. It's not an aggressive pick. He just wants to go for the late game. He wants to be that team fighting threat. But right now, you have to be feeling so insanely good if you're with the side of Waterloo. Your top side just got accelerated scaling. Your mid lane, sure, he's not really keeping up in farm, but he's existing.
Okay, yeah.
Probably the most disappointing lane for me for Waterloo has to be Eno in the bot lane.
Yeah, very much the case. You know, we saw 2 counts of aggression where Eno jumped in and then regretted it. First time, he had to flash out. Second time, he just died, right? And he doesn't have any summoners to help keep him protected. So all in all, you know, we talked about Eno in this bot lane as likely the saving grace for the side of Waterloo. They're going to try to funnel the kills onto him. Even in a losing game, he was 13-2 last time around, so definitely their star player in every aspect here. Now, Shauner going to be very helpful. I mean, Shauner has to be right now just the best feeling of insurance for Eno there, because this 2-0 gangplank in the top lane that was at a CS deficit now has a CS advantage, just being able to punish so much with that Sheen and Phage is going to draw a lot of that attention. Now, again, it's on BTM. I'm putting so much pressure on the jungler here to help out the side of Eno and Platoon in that bot lane and to get things rolling over Dead, because kill on the Kog'Maw, and that is one of the biggest scaling potentials coming out of the side of Ryerson here. So I really want to see them turn on the heat on that bot side of the map now. Looks to the other side of things like Away Today wants to get Pax back into this one. He's just hanging around that top side of the map. We'll see if he can pull anything, but the ward coverage is so good from Waterloo's top laner that I think he's pretty safe.
This is going to be a very interesting game because this basic has to still Waterloo, but engage on outside.
Yeah, they want to come in again, and just as they do, it's right back out, so nothing gonna transpire there. The teleport coming back out from the top lane, so likely won't see that for Dragon anytime soon. Still surprised that 10 minutes have gone by and Infernal Drake is not on the menu for any team, but they seem to want to get their lanes in a favorable position. Sherb takes half health on the Rift, and I don't think they want to engage any further, as it's now going to be called for BTM to roam back down towards that bot side through the river, just get the vision down. But there are a lot of champions from Ryerson there.
They might be looking for an engage play, but one here at least going to take the defensive route. Not going to be picked off just yet, as that Dragon is still on the board. I mean, Eno and Platoon not really being able to pull off anything in the bot lane does hurt that quite a bit, but you gotta find something to do here if you are the side of Ryerson. That is a ticking time bomb in that top lane.
Yeah, for sure. I think they're going to feel pretty good about just Dead's position right now. Hang on, we may have some action coming down in the mid lane, and no, we don't. So, all things considered, Dead in the bot lane, they got to be feeling pretty good. He's staying consistent in CS against the Tristana. They both feel like they're going to scale really well to be huge threats in this late game. He has the kill to boot over things. All things considered, there's the Shurima shuffle back, and with the ult coming down from Gangplank, the Glacial Prison is flashed out of, but Wazir throwing back the damage, still on the run as BTM is trying to find him on down. Wants to turn it, actually, but look at this in the bot lane. We have our own action coming down as we shift over to the top as well. All over the map, there is Chaos reigning supreme, and Dead and Ninja Hog are trying to get themselves out of this one, as Eno and Platoon still come away pretty strong on these trades. They're still just pressuring it down, despite even the item disadvantage, not necessarily having that recurve bow and only the Thorn's blade. It's going to have a little bit more of a bite to its attacks, but just as much as Kog'Maw can get out in that time is definitely the advantage I'm favoring over there. Now look at this though. Dragon started up in the bottom lane by BTM, and he's sneaking this one out through. Does need the help of his bot lane, but I think they have this one scot-free.
Yeah, and that's just consequential of the side of Ryerson not really caring about it, honestly. We've rarely seen Away Today focusing on towards his bot side, spending a lot more time on the counter jungling measures, trying to shut out BTM, but not quite sure that is the most effective use of time, but he's still going to try to make it work. But a big question mark for me on that last play was, where was BTM on that mid play? He was sitting in that bot lane river bush, I mean, the mid lane bot side river bush for the longest time while Sherb was going for the Shooter Shuffle, and then BTM just comes in too late.
Yeah, no, definitely not what you want to see out of that Sejuani. Now look at that, forcing a flash Away Today does get that one out on Shauner, so they're going to feel good about that one, but not going to be too relevant unless he can capitalize again sometime in the next 5 minutes. I like Away Today just in this jungle. He's playing around well enough that he's getting the pressure out on the side of Waterloo, making them kind of think about their options. I think Waterloo's saving grace has been excellent vision around what they've been wanting to play through. They're keeping their mid lane well protected. They're keeping the Dragon vision up. That's how they got the Infernal to them. They're keeping top lane very well protected, although the wards are currently not there. We'll see if they do opt to put those back down and out. But all in all, it's very well done by the side of Hang On. Nice flash out. Dead not going to be too worried about this one, but BTM trying to come in. There's the ultimate coming down from Gangplank, so it's going to be Dead lives up to his namesake, and the teleport comes through means Ninja Hog could be in trouble as well. With Zero has joined the fight, and BTM is going to be over the wall. I think the teleport cancel. This fight is dead in the water. It's a 1-for-0 pickup. Favor going to Waterloo. They're going to take that one out in the way, and Dead is set back another death.
And And that's just a faster first step, not only from Waterloo, but from BTM. He makes the move on towards the bot side. He makes sure that he has the inside track against Wazir on the rise in the mid lane, and he just finds the fight. This is how you shut down the carry composition. You just hit the carry over and over again. And now, look at what's going on for the side of Ryerson. Ball lane is starting to be put behind. He's not quite out of the game yet. Dead 420 is still doing perfectly fine. He's just not a carry at the moment. Mid lane, Wazir is existing. And then top lane, Pax is put fairly sizably behind. Where do you realistically look for the carry if you are the side of Ryerson?
I think Away today needs to help Wazir find the kills. It needs to be a 4v something.
Yeah.
Likely the bot lane's where you look there. But we have a very strong Jax right now with his flash up, with ganking potential. We've already seen, Shauna, the big threat, still have to flash out of the ganks. He was in the 1v2. Hang on, Wazir didn't have the tower aggro that time, so it was a nice ultimate, but didn't set up the tower to help. Now, in the meantime, BTM and Shauna want to come in and make something happen. And we think better of it. And we're back to the status quo with Wazir still just punishing Sherb in this lane. I mean, look at that. That's 50 CS up right now at 15 minutes.
Yeah, but the big thing is that nothing is coming from this. Wazir is not getting the ganks to find the kills, and that's not even the end of the lane. He's not doing anything with it. He's not roaming around. He's not finding plays onto the bot side, onto the top side. And if you're not going to try to snowball through mid lane, but you have a lead, you need to find places to put that extra pressure. And right now, Waterloo's just doing a better job of containing.
I think so, very much the case. They're only up about 600 gold, but the fight pressure and potential is still just so much there for them. And with that Infernal Drake, as slowly as this game is going, that's going to be a huge scaling factor. Mountain is the next one up on the docket for them, so maybe, we'll see first tower start to be contested then. Nobody's put any priority onto that first tower. Nobody's even so much as glanced at the Rift Herald all game. It's just a laning phase game, and it's just trying to get your lanes out and ahead. Top lane still really good shape coming out of the side of Waterloo with Shauner's 2-0 over the likes of Pax with a relatively even CS, all things considered. Mid lane, favorite does go to Wazir over Sherb. And then the bot lane, still pretty close, slightly favoring Dead, but obviously they showed him that they're not too afraid of him by being able to hit pretty hard under tower. So, top to bottom, it's a very interesting game. There is a latent tension here. It's not end of game, one kill ends it all tension, but it is a very different sort of focus tension coming out of these players. Nobody wants to really make that first move that's going to just offset everything so heavily. And right now they're just relying on their junglers to get ganks for kills, and that's okay. But I really want to see one of these lanes push through, crack the game open, and say, hey, look, I know I have the advantage. I know I'm strong, and let me prove it to you. And the only way we can see glimpses of that is Eno in the bottom.
Just doesn't exist yet. I mean, on the bottom side, the one-item advantage does lie with Dead. He has completed the race play, but it's not really enough to realistically move on to team fighting. ADC Eno has no item just yet. He's not ready to go to team fighting, even in top lane. Triforce on gameplay is not a fed game, so if you want to wait for the 25 to 35 minute mark, get your lethality items to get a little bit of crit as well, and just start ripping open a game from there. Because it's when you take that first step just a little bit too early that you really do just throw the game away.
Right. No, I'm very much in agreement with you there. They're just playing quite passively. This is the first tower we've seen contested, and it's just because both teams want to farm out pretty well and carry this one on late. Granted, we saw a 48-minute game last time around. First tower is taking credit going over to Waterloo. Ryerson a little bit further behind on that tower, but they do take it. And that seems to be kind of the story of this game for them. They're just a tick further behind on objectives. So kind of give good heads-up play there now to the side of Waterloo taking that one out and away. Shauna potentially in some trouble, but it's a lot of flash and burn to get him there. And look at that, they will find him all up and nicely done with just some tower juggling. Kill credit, they give that one over to Pax. They're going to use that to get him back into this game. I'm feeling pretty good about that one. We'll see how they collapse here. Wazir's got to take this one to get out, but I think he's okay. They can't push him to the tower either because they know that BTM and Sherb are on the way.
Yeah, it's pretty rough spending so much just to get the kill. Obviously, they want to start eking out some sort of target. I think it's going to get them a little bit further ahead. They're looking for Pax.
Yeah, wants to find it. Won't get it. Back to the buys. They're all just getting back to base where they need to be and resetting on this one. So we did have a tower for tower a kill now unanswered back to the side of Ryerson. They can take that one away at the top lane. And as this lane swap is actually beginning, they feel pretty good about putting Pax in the bot lane with the one kill that they gave them. They're going to be able to try to find this one pretty quickly. Mountain Drake going to go over uncontested to the side of Waterloo, so feeling pretty good about that one. 2 Drakes in their pocket now. Gold still even, but those will start to mean so much more. It's a nice Sharima shuffle, and look at that. The Glacial Prison again not going to land. That is a story of this game so far, and now with Veer trying to get out of this one. Very low health, but finds a kill on BTM. Doesn't matter. Eno finds a kill. It's going to be a double. Takes that one out and away. Under tower, doesn't care. Goes up 2-1 and 2 now, and that was what we were talking about. They needed to find a play like that. Really well done coming out of the side of Waterloo. They stretched the kill lead just barely again, and now gold in their favor as they should be able to push this tower down. It's a pause. It's a minimize accidentally from support. Ninja Hog got a little too excited, minimized the game, possibly the alt tab. They paused, they're getting back in, and the R's are coming down, so a little bit of a momentum gap.
Yeah, but touching on those last few plays.
Ooh, hang on. Second, because Pax is just pushing this one through. It's going to be nicely held off by the cannon barrage coming out of Gangplank. The teleport, though, will mean bad things for this tower as Shawner enters the fray, and Dead cannot do a thing to save it. So that's another tower taken away, and Waterloo just stretching these leads bit by bit. It's a war of attrition, and they are winning.
And that was actually what looks to be a good adaptation coming out of the side of the Waterloo squad. They wanted to trade the Dragon for the pressure, and on the other side there, Ryerson, they wanted to get that first up at the top lane. They wanted to finally take over this game in priority, but they were so split in their means of doing so. They put the dual lane up against the Gangplank, who's going to be able to hold. And the Waterloo just reads the situation perfectly, but
wow.
The Baron.
Hang on, are you kidding me? They're trying to sneak this one right out at 21 minutes, and I don't think Waterloo has any clue they ping it, but it's much too late. So now if the side of Ryerson can get out okay with the Rise ult, but they definitely do. And they just pulled a fast one over the side of Waterloo. Ryerson, I gotta commend them for that because there was no hesitation. They were ready to make that happen, and now we're gonna see what they can capitalize with because this is 5v4 in the top lane. I think they're gonna back pretty quickly here.
I mean, that's one way to bring the game right back in your favor. Make sure you get the Baron buff, and that's going to put a big break onto almost a breakout section that the side of Waterloo starting to be able to generate, but also keep your eye on him starting to come online. So needs another item before he's really ready to completely pop off.
I'll tell you what, the Mountain Drake does a lot to tide over that second item when it comes to pushing towers for Tristana. That was so quickly taken out in the way. Granted, it was beat up a little bit beforehand, but they take a tower in the top lane scot-free. We'll see if it can be answered now by the push coming out the 4-man in the mid lane. Do they even want to try to start the fight here as the top laners are starting that split push pressure? Baron advantage means it's firmly in the hand of Pax, and with this minion on the back line, they may be able to just chip out this tower. No, we'll go down, but second wave should mean death for this tower coming out of the side of Waterloo. In the meantime, the first tier 1 tower in the bot lane taken out and away by Pax. So they're going to be bringing this gold back into their favor. You know, they were down about a K. Now they're pushing it back into the realm of contention with this Baron, with the pressure that they are able to find. And it looks like they're still not finding the best foothold. Or they got the tower. They're going to feel good about that. They need to reset in the top lane. Away Today desperately needs to police his jungle. And we're going to see how much of this Baron they can make use of, because they have other things to worry about as well.
And this is just a lot of hesitation coming out of the side of Ryerson. They don't feel confident pressing up. They don't feel like they have the advantage. And honestly, in every single position other than mid lane, they are in fact down in gold. So, I mean, not sure if I can blame them too hard for wanting to take a little bit of a back foot, but that's not going to help them out with this Baron buff. Getting that top tower, though, that might be a bit of a better move.
Yeah, so, I mean, I will say they were down 3-1 in towers by just some really positive unanswered moves coming out of the side of Waterloo. So now that that's off the table, they've equalized the tower game. That means just through their Baron, they have, you know, a gold advantage, sorry. Kill's still in the advantage of Waterloo, but doesn't mean much at this point. So if they can keep pressuring towers, if they can take another 1, possibly 2 before this Baron expires, which, I mean, we're probably right on the cusp of. Yeah, we're about 3/4 of the way through Baron. So if they can find even just one more tower, I feel like they're going to feel very good about this advantage, all things considered.
They definitely need something that is packed. It's starting to get a little bit of flip of turn over the gangplank, but honestly, my bet is that once that Baron is gone, that is going to go right back the other way.
Yep.
And this is now just the side of Waterloo actually trying to wait out. They want Sherp to hit those big item spikes, because when you hit that late game team fight too, BTM is going to be the only tank on that team. Everyone else is pure damage, and boy, that is a lot of late game potential to take down this Juggernaut.
Yeah, very much the case. And they have backlining options, right? Sherb can very easily get to the backline and get dead with the Shurima Shuffle. Shauner doesn't even need to be anywhere near the fight to cause headaches for that Kog'Maw who is immobile. So, gonna be interesting as the game does push on later. Now, it was a very good attempt at weathering the storm from Waterloo. They only lost 2 towers, and now with the Dragon, the Mountain Drake being the next neutral objective on the board, I wouldn't be surprised to see teams being a little bit more willing to fight here. They cannot give the second Mountain Drake over to the composition with the Tristana. Eno is going to have a field day with that, especially Shauner potential on that split push gangplank as well. Now that the Baron is timed out, he's still a strong threat against Pax on the Fiora. So I think that this is likely going to be quite contested. The mid laners are the only ones exempt from that side of the map right now, but look at that! They find Ninja Hog, force the flash out, and that's 2 summoners used from dead to try to get out. Can he kite through this? The answer is yes! Ninja Hog takes the kill out and away over Eno, and now on the run, perhaps, are the side of Waterloo as Pax wants to come in, find BTM. There will be no stun. Away today does not find his either, but there's the teleport coming in from Rise. Wazir going to try to find that one tower. Likely going to be next one to fall, but won't actually try to push that one through without the minions. They don't want to risk any health on it, but they find 2 really good kills that are just unable to be answered from the side of Waterloo. And that's a fight Waterloo wanted, starting with Eno.
I mean, exactly. Eno just going way too aggressive, and this is definitely problematic. Just Waterloo as a whole right now. They're very one-dimensional. Even when the top lane gets the early advantage, even when Sherb is doing decently alright in the laning phase, they're so reliant always about the ADC making plays, and oh no, Platoon!
This is bad news for Platoon. You cannot face check as the immobile support with no flash. Did not come out of that one in any conceivably good fashion, so that'll be Mountain Drake awarded very much for free back over to the side of Ryerson. And they were struggling to find a foothold earlier in this game, but now these guys are really starting to levy on the advantage. They have 4K gold, and they have a Mountain Drake to answer, so it's really just the Infernal that's giving them headaches. But they're not even worried about that because they found the tower advantage, and they're starting to push up their ward line to make this map decidedly in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, this is a gold advantage that they can really start to work around. Best part is, Tristana's not on 3 items yet. She doesn't have any armor pen against your... Okay, 1 tank. Yeah. I was quickly looking at it, I was like, wait, that is still a Fiora in the top lane.
Yeah.
The big question for me now has to be, how effective is Pax actually going to be on the split push game? We saw how it worked when there was a Baron on the table, when he was able to just completely outshow Shauner by just existing. But it's going to be these small individual skirmishes where if Eno keeps getting caught on these fights, he's just not going to be able to save his team from anything because he's not going to be able to save himself.
Yeah, very much the case. And where's the peel? You know, you have Platoon on Janna, but there's only so much that champion can do to get you out of that one. Shauner not going to be focused on peel, and Sherb likely as well. So it comes down to BTM, but you want him to be able to help you find this Kog'Maw. So it's sort of a damned if you do, damned if you don't, in theory, if it gets that late. Baron up at 15 seconds, though. We'll see if they want to fight around that.
This is a composition, and this is a situation where Eno really needs to just understand he is not the core member. He needs to be playing a bit more backline. He needs to let Shauner shoot and BTM deal with this Kog'Maw threat because there are actual threats on this side of the map. Bot lane.
Yeah, bloody nose coming out between Shauner and Pax. Both of them just slapping each other around pretty good. Teleports are up, and look at that. BTM has not been successful with these Glacial Prisons all game. I don't believe I've seen him hit one, and that's the 5th one I've seen him throw out and miss at least. Maybe some happened off camera, but Wazir flashing out of the Shurima Shuffle in good shape there. That is 2 big ultimates used, only to find 1 flash now out of the side of Ryerson.
How this set actually does play around this Baron is, those are still some very aggressive champions. You just lock yourself into a Baron pit against stuff like the Azir, like the Tristana. He will whittle away at you so quickly, especially in just a one-tank composition. Pax is going to be backing in position. He does have a flank ward, but not sure how effective he's actually going to be able to be on that.
I like it from Ryerson. Look, they're happy just to push out this top lane. They had the wave pushing, so they knew the Baron would be a distraction at best to net up a tower, or I'm sorry, at worst, obviously the Baron itself at best. But they just kind of tower scot-free out of that. It's great vision, it's great rotation and wave control, and that's the hallmark of really good League of Legends. They teleport to the Baron pit, and they started up pretty aggressively, but I don't think they realized Eno is there. BTM as well wants to find in Wazir. Gonna die for this one. Eno takes a kill out and away, and look at that. He's continuing to pressure in. Makes a little bit better of it after getting slapped down just a tick. But with Pack here, we'll see whether or not the side of Waterloo actually want to take this Baron up and out. It is backs coming out of most of Ryerson. Really only Packs here, as well as Dead trying to hold on. Ninja Hog not going to be the biggest threat on the over half the Baron wall, so we'll see.
Wait, so low.
We'll see what happens here. Away Today wants to find it. Sherb coming in, tries to look at that, but look at that. Away Today on the back line.
Got it!
Take this out of the way. He steals the Baron, but loses his life for it. Pack's going to try to get out of this one. Are you kidding me? What a mistake coming out from Waterloo. They're going to try to save this one, but man, oh man. They all abandoned the Baron and just gave it to Away Today. He took it with no hesitation.
Yeah,
Ow!
still looking
That
for. No, he's not
hurts.
gonna find it. But wow, that was just such an awkward call to turn. When that Baron is below 2k HP, you do not turn away from that Baron. I mean, as juicy as Dead 420 might be, you have the Baron in your sights. And that Baron is going to prevent Waterloo from getting anything off this fight and could even put the pressure back in favor for Ryerson. Waterloo could have just signed their own death note here.
Yeah, I mean, look, they come away with, what was it, 3 kills, I think? So that's going to... They get 3 kills, but they lose a tower on the extended push there and the Baron, all things considered. So definitely not what they wanted. So we're going to have Baron on 2 members, Pax and Ninja Hog, I believe, with the 2 survivors of that fight that will now be able to buff out the lanes. Keeping it on Pax is ever important because Ninja Hog's going to be with the team anyway, but Pax now can put the Baron minions in the split pushing lane. So the split push with the Baron still very much alive now from the side of Waterloo. They just want to reset. They want to get their waves pushing. They want to get their wards down. I'm sorry, Ryerson, not Waterloo. Want to get their waves set, their wards down, and then they can feel really good about coming online with a strong push.
But here's the thing, they have absolutely no vision control right now on this bottom part of the jungle. There is no vision control at all, which means it's going to be incredibly risky for any member, doesn't matter who it is, any member coming out of Ryerson to push past this halfway mark, because all it takes is one 5-man, one 4-man stack onto Pax, onto Wazir, and all of a sudden that Baron is just completely null and void.
Yeah, very much the case, because they do need to worry. It's only 2 members with the Baron, and Pax is definitely going to be the juiciest target. As Split as his tag, actually. That's his clan tag, is Split. So, Split push, we're going to see, how well he wants to do that. I don't think they can just leave him alone, so they try to do a 2-2 and 1 kind of combo action with Wazir pushing down in this bot lane. Maybe playing around the Drake as it comes up. 32 minutes, it's the last Drake on the board before Elder, and it is another Mountain Drake, so they're going to want to take that one away and make sure that Eno can't have it away today. Very comfortable soloing that, but look at the pressure building now from Waterloo in this bot side jungle. They have to be very careful, A, at maintaining their top lane, and B, making sure they don't get picked off in their bot side.
At this point in the game, you just take any dragon you can, because basically at this point, there's probably going to be an Elder on the board at some point, and that honestly might just be what turns this game over one way or another. But I mean, a 5k lead is absolutely nothing to scoff at.
No, absolutely not. 32 minutes, it does get a little bit less potent, but still all the same. Would you look at that Wazir just slapping Shaner down in the middle of his own ultimate, doesn't care, and pushes that one through to maintain a very strong split pushing presence. You never want to have that happen as the split push defense, Shaner being that top lane split pushing threat with the teleport gangplank. So Wazir just farmed to a point in this game where he is so insanely strong. Look at him, 355 CS. Only one other player to break 300, and that's Pax. No, I'm sorry, we do have that as well out of Eno. He is the next closest. And look at that, a Glacial Prison lands, but they don't do anything with it. So really more of a moral victory there coming out for BTM. He does find that one out and away. Now, potentially Dead. Dead will be in some trouble. He does get ulted up. He's trying to spit the damage back out, but Eno was quicker to the draw. The redemption comes down, and Ninja Hog can't do much to save it there. So Polymorph trying to get in on Eno as Pax is following, but the Shurima shuffles there didn't do enough, so it forces the flash, and look at that. BTM trying to save things. Here's the teleport coming in from Rise. He flashes in. Wazir finds it. And now BTM trying to get out of this one. Teleport coming out from Shauner as well. Should be the reset here. Nobody wants to stick around too hard to throw this one away, but it looks like Pax and Wazir are going to say we just might pull it off as they get the double kill down now for Rise. And BTM is taken out and away off some aggression. That's a 40-second death timer. And Away Today is just picking out at this mid tower. He's going to feel great about that with the Guardian Angel, all things considered. That's really not the way that I think the University of Waterloo wanted that to go.
No, and this time and time again is just coming down to Eno trying to make that hero plan. Once again, this just isn't what this comp is built for. You need to find those 5-on-5 fights where you can land the damage onto Dead 420, let Eno deal with some of those frontline threats, and just play forward from there. But honestly, it might be starting to get to that point where it's just a little bit too late. And unless one of these hero plays just magically works out, just to be able to reset off of everyone, and honestly, he's not that far from it, but the way he's trying to play it is just too aggro at the moment, and you need the team behind him. You can't just 1v5 at this point.
No, certainly not the case. All things, you look at this map, and it doesn't look that far tilted in the favor of Ryerson. Now, obviously, they're clearly the favorites with the gold lead that they have. It's 11-11 in kills. They're only behind 2 towers, right? Which is not generally the most debilitating state you could be in here, especially at 35 minutes. Drakes are relatively even. It is the Infernal, which, as the later the game goes and the fewer towers are on the board, is actually going to start to favor Waterloo. It's the CS that is so damn strong from the side of Ryerson that is giving them this major gold lead of about 6K, because they're up about 100 in the mid lane, right?
Yeah.
About 40 to 50 in the jungle at any given time, and then a decent amount in the top lane. It's really only the bot, the AD matchup, that's going well for the side of Waterloo in the CS regard. So just the farming game has been so good from Ryerson, and I feel like that's what's giving them now this strong advantage here in the later game, as well as obviously the 2 Barons that they were able to cheekily pull out in both. Yeah, both Barons were quite cheeky, I'd say. So
I mean, Baron's coming up again, but you are without a doubt not wrong in any sense of the word. Wazir is just outclassing Sherb right now. Because Sherb is just not tough enough, or he's not getting enough support to actually play up, to play aggressive, or to just grab this farm. So much of this team is just funneling resources into Eno that when that one man fails, everything else just falls down. And that is why Ryerson are pretty solidly favored in this matchup. They're more comfortable playing with multiple different win conditions where...
Oh boy,
that might be the one!
He's not going to get out. Actually, he does with Ninja Hog, but Ninja Hog pays the sacrificial price all the same. 2 members in, trying to find Eno. They want to get it back. Is there to try to backline this one, and Away Today finds the kill. The fight is not done yet. Sherb, the next target, will go down the way. It's a nice turnaround coming out for Ryerson. BTM on the run for his life. Can Shauner save him? The answer looks to be yes, as he is going to try to get this one saved up. But look, Shauner's going to maybe die himself here if he's not careful. Wazir trying to push on through. Tornado does hold him up, so they are running for dear life, and they may just find it. But it's going to be at the cost of their mid lane tower, I believe, if they want to push this one out from Ryerson. Looks to be a little conflicted, but Wazir is there. He does take it out in the way. He's going to push the inhibitor still. That's a little cocky because Shauner, BTM, and Platoon can definitely kill a Rise at this point in the game. We'll see.
He does have the cleanse if BTM had the glacial person, but he doesn't know he does not.
Oh, man.
Sketchy, but he buys the time they need.
Yeah, it was all an elaborate ruse to take away the Baron. That is third one coming down uncontested there for Ryerson. So the first Baron, they snuck away. The second Baron, they stole. And the third one, they just walked up and took because they knew that there was no potential for a stop coming out of the side of Waterloo. So with that, we should be seeing them start to put the finishing touches on this game. We'll see if they want to take the Elder Drake just to feel a little bit better about it. Because they've only just now, at 37 minutes roughly, cracked open the base. That's the first time we saw a base tower fall, so they're definitely playing these games quite slowly. Let's see if they want to fight this one out here, actually. They do lock up onto Sherb. He's not going to be able to find the shuffle to push things through there. So a nice prison from Rise to hold things off, and Pax just trying to keep things moving in the right direction. It looks like Elder Drake is definitely a priority from the side of Waterloo. They know they can't give this one away now to the side of Ryerson, or it does mean it is strongly going to go in the favor of Ryerson towards finding those inhibitors and putting the finishing touches on here.
He's on the flank is incredibly dangerous, but there's engaged.
Ooh, there's a Glacial Prison that finds the support, but is it enough? Pax is on the killing spree. Now Wazir falls as well. They are trying to salvage the ruins of this fight, but it is going well over to the side of Ryerson after the burst comes down. Sorry, not gone down thus far. So still in good shape, but they lost their top in jungle now. How does Waterloo hold this one out? They still have the damage, but they don't have the defense. Elder Drake not on the
flank though.
They want to try it, but Away Today might have the pinch here. This could be very bad. Eno nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, does jump out, but the damage is still there. He turns it on Away Today. Pax rampaging though as Sherv has gone down. Eno trying to hold this one through, doing his damnedest. 8-4-3 right now. It looks to show no signs of slowing down as he picks up his knife. But look at that, he has to jump out of this one for dear life. Will possibly find a kill on Away Today. Uses his efforts instead to run. Not going to try to die this time, but I don't think there's any getting away from this one. They choose actually not to hound him down. They don't want to pour any more resource into that than necessary. They say the Elder Drake is the right call here, especially with Wazir spawning to get that bump onto him. Teleport's coming down though, and with the Gangplank ultimate, this could be dangerous. We'll see. I think it's just going to be backed off.
Incredibly risky call, because now if Away Today back, there is absolutely nothing stopping the Waterloo squad from taking this dragon themselves, but even they're going to be a bit too hesitant. Their vision game has just completely fallen off in these last 10 minutes, and they have absolutely no idea where Away Today is.
No, and look at the top lane too. They have to police that wave. They've got to send somebody, or else that top lane tower is going to be in shambles. So they do send Sherv up there instead of relocating him to the dragon just to make sure that the top lane tower does not fall by the wayside. All things taken into account, I think that is the better move, but now it's left room to set up coming from the side of Ryerson again. They've started the dragon. I don't know if they understand how many members of Waterloo are here, how close this fight is to breaking out in earnest. And Eno wants to come in onto dead, but look at that, he risks his own life, and that is absolutely nightmarish for the side of Waterloo. Now Ryerson is going to have free reign in this fight. Sure, gonna find Ninja Hawk, but it's only the support. He pays his own life for it. Platoon and Shawner, the last two remaining members. Can they try to hold this one out? They just want to try to maybe find a cheeky kill. I don't even think that's going to be on the table, as the Elder Dragon now is taken out and away. That's going to be Away Today, making sure that one goes safely into their pockets. And they lose Ninja Hawk for it, but they'll take that trade any day.
And that is just such a heartbreaking play from Eno. Once again, tries to be the hero his team needs, and it just doesn't work out. He mistimes the alt-auto combination, leaves dead 420 with about one auto attack with HP left, and he doesn't get a reset, so he just dies in the middle of that fight. And once again, the majority of the resources on this team are funneled into it. He has 18k gold in the pocket. The next highest, the next highest at Gangplank, I think that's a little bit unfair for the representation, but the next highest on his team is the mid laner with 13,000.
Yeah, it's a pretty big disparity. They're funneling so much into that champion, and it's just not paying the dividends it needs to yet because they can't keep him safe. Because BTM wants to keep finding the start of the fight instead of trying to find the ult that will end it and defend Eno.
It's not even that it's BTM's fault for not feeling for him. Eno is just refusing to be defended. He is going in time after time. And this is an example of their team's greatest strength becoming their greatest weakness. They're so gun-hoed on this one playstyle where, okay, Eno's going to win a fight first each and every time, where it's like 20 minutes back, you start transitioning towards that team fight. You give a little bit more room for BTM to play the fight. You give Eno a little bit more room on the backside of that play. You can start to try to farm out through these team fights. But the entirety of this season has been squarely on the back of Eno, and he's done a hell of a job so far. But right now, it's just not stacking up.
No, it's not there at the moment of truth, and this Cinderella story is getting close to midnight for the side of Waterloo. The 6th seed coming up against number 3 Ryerson. They're showing why they were maybe a little bit more highly favored here. but they do still have a long series ahead of them. Look at that, they're coming through. They find Ninja Hog again, but again with the support, they're just pouring so much effort into finding the Lulu. It does mean Eel is taken away, and this is good. Take that one out. Wazir now not going to be able to do much. Very nicely done from the side of Waterloo to keep things stable on their base and definitely break the push immediately. But there's no neutral objectives to take here. They need to reset their vision. They have decent vision out there already. They just want to push a tower off of this one, and it looks to me a little bit like clutching at straws here.
40 seconds left on Wazir means that there has to be backs coming out in order to defend even this inhibitor. This tower is gone. That Tristana just does way too much damage, and if they're not quick, that mid lane inhibitor tower is gone as well.
Yeah, no, look at that. They need to rely now on the flank from away today. He's got to get in there because this tower is already dead. And look at that, jumping in for dead. He's going to have to get out of that one with the summoner heal. Tries to turn it around, but look at that. Still no Lulu to keep him safe. So the inhibitor's gone. That is insanely good opportunistic play coming out from the side of Eno and friends.
That was also so close to being the end of the game. If Eno gotten that kill onto Dead 420, that was game over.
Yeah, no, he had to use those summoners to keep himself alive. Ninja Hog now is there for the defense. And I have to say, I was a little wrong there. I levied a lot of criticism on blowing up for Lulu, but doing it before they can ult up now onto the side of Dead has proved very, very successful, and they may try to find it again away today, locked up, but not going to be used. Eno going in, wants to find it away today, taken pretty low in Platoon now. Little big for Richards has to be careful here because the super minions are starting to pour in. Pax potentially in some trouble here, trying to 1v5, but the team backs him up with Wazir finds BTM.
The polymorph!
They get him! He is gone down. Eno will not be there. It's a huge Shurima shuffle, but it is now Waterloo crumbling just barely. They only have a couple members alive now, as look at that shut down double kill coming out and away. It's only away today and Ninja Hog left alive. It's 3 dead again on the other side for Waterloo as well. So 2v2 supports and a jungle and a top laner. We'll see who can scrappily take this one out, but it needs to be now Ryerson defending their mid lane, shutting this out because they have super minions still pouring down that way. I wonder if Away Today wants to sneak something in the top lane or just reset this Baron vision. That would be all too crucial in the coming minutes.
Yeah, it's way too risky right now to even think about Baron. If they had kept Dead 420 alive during that fight, they could have transitioned into, not quite the end of the game, but the inhibitor, that extra Baron. But oh lord, that was so close, because every single fight now relies on repeatedly just knocking down Eno in that fight. And that one was Ninja actually coming out with the clutch play, throwing the polymorph onto Eno so he couldn't jump away, he couldn't play defensively at all, even if he wanted to. And it's now literally just, does Eno stay alive during a fight? If the answer is yes, this game goes to Waterloo. If the answer is no, Ryerson makes this 1-2-0.
Right. And it's all pressure on now because you can lose a game like this in game number 1 if you're Waterloo. Losing the second game in the best of 5 series the same way on paper, I would argue, likely off the back of, some clutch plays by Eno trying to hold it in, but a nice long scaling comp coming out of the side of Ryerson. If that's the story for both games, the first 2 to kick off the series, the reverse sweep seems so hard. So winning this one here, resetting the series to basically just a best of 3 would feel so good, revitalize this team, especially, if it's going to be consistent 40, 50-minute games, because that seems to be no sign for slowing down yet. Quick. Yeah, no, they want to find it. That's the Mountain Drake at their backs, and they find it nicely out and away by locking up Away Today. He cannot take that one through and out. So the first Baron going over to Waterloo. 4th Baron of the game so far, as we're getting closer to that 50-minute mark. Means things are getting so deadly now for the side of Ryerson. They had a strong advantage. They were up 10, 11K about 10 minutes ago. They're still up 8 of that right now, but I wouldn't think it to look at the way the map is going, the way these items are here, because the fight potential is all too real from Waterloo, and they are now firmly pressing the attack. Ooh.
I'm going to walk forward on this one, and they're looking to start knocking him down. Look at the bot lane, too. Both of those laners both have TP. They both can get in on this fight. But they're impressing on inhibitors.
Yeah, no, I mean, Pax wants to find it, but that's the next top lane tower destroyed. The fight is coming out. Away Today trying to get in, can't do too much. And the damage is there. BTM just being a beefcake for his team right now, and that's exactly what they need.
Who's here?
And look at that, Shurd finds it, and that's another kill across the map. Shauner takes that one. That is absolutely devastating for
That's
the side
gotta
of
be it.
Ryerson. It's likely the game. I don't believe that Den can hold this one out without Pack, without Brazier. It's solo later for his front line. He's going to make one last ditch effort, but the first tower is gone. The second one falling so
the
fast
shot!
and will go down. Oh, are you kidding me? They're trying to find it, but that is absolutely game number 2 taken out. Waterloo are going to bring this one back 1-1. We've got a best of 3 on our hands now. All things considered, 3 more games.
Whew.
And wow, it's another 48-minute zinger, but they do find it this time. Basically the same way, the same strategy that we thought we were going to see. It's just pouring the effort in. Now, Eno, 10-6-10. Even if he lost that game, we would say, wow, that was the Eno show coming out. They did an absolute miracle by putting Sherb onto somebody who had some actualizing power. It was the Karma that lost them that in the first game. The Azir bought it back for him in the second. And Ryerson couldn't hang as the game got later. So what a barn burner. But all in all, we're 1-1 in this best of 5.
Yeah, that one, heart was racing the entire time there. But time after time, Ryerson were given the opportunity to make the last play, make that one play that puts this game over the edge, but they just could never make it. And at the end, eventually, the items just didn't matter anymore because Azir nearly got the full items on that match, despite being, what is that now at the end of the game? Over nearly 100 CS down at the end of the match.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Ryerson could never stay together. They could never find a fight as one big unit, and that meant Eno on the Super Fed Tristana was able just to take the individual one-on-ones that just kept winning them a game, and that was just incredibly hard to watch, and that's got to be a heartbreaker for the Ryerson squad.
Man, we talk about mental toughness. It's coming down now to the wire. You have one game like this in a series, it's a little shaky. You think, okay, man, wow, let's reset that and just get ready for game number 2. You have 2 games like this in a series, the fatigue has to be so real right now, and each team has to win 2 more games. Whew.
Game 5, the dream.
Game 5, the dream. Will we see silver scrapes today? Will it be cleaned up in a returning fashion? Coming out from either of these teams, can they charge it down and just put the cap on this with 2 more wins in their back pocket? We'll find out, but ladies and gentlemen, we do need to kick it over to break, give them a little bit of time to strategize, get ready, decide what the picks and bans are going to be for game number 3, because where do you even make the adaptations? What do you do differently? These are the conversations that these teams need to be having now, and we're going to see how it all actualizes in game number 3 after the break.